Okay, so we learned how to enter data and how you got to be careful with when you clear and delete and all that. So now we're going to do the scatter plot. Now, there are a couple ways to do this. There's the quick way and the long way. So, and quite frankly, you should do it the long way the first time just so you know how it's set up. So we don't need to see this anymore for a while, so let me make this bigger. If you look above your y equals button, do you see what that says? It's the one button we haven't worked with so far, and that's called STATPLOT. Now remember, you entered the data in statistics, so I'm thinking statistics plot might be a way to go. So let's go there, STATPLOT, and we're going to look at plot number 1, so I'm going to pick that. Alright, now the first thing it's saying is plot number 1, you can see that's what we're in, and I want to turn it on, so I'm going to press enter on the on, and then it's telling you what it's going to do. It's going to do a scatter plot. The rest of these, this is a line graph, this is a bar chart, these are called box and whisker plots, and that's a probability plot. That's all stuff for a statistics course. So us in algebra, we're only going to be doing this, we in algebra. And then is your x stuff, your x data in L1, which it is for me, is your y data in L2, which it is, and what kind of mark do you want it to make? Box. That sounds good. Okay, so this looks just like what we want. So you've turned it on basically, and you've checked it. The other way to do it is in y equals. So if I go to y equals right here, I can see, oops, I have an old equation that I don't really want anymore. Clear, that's gone. So it was going to graph that, and I don't want it. And you can see that plot 1 is on. See how it's dark? If you want to turn it off, a fast way is to press enter, and then when you move away, it's not on anymore. See how it's not dark? You go up and press enter, it's dark. So now when I graph, it should graph the points. Oh no, Alana, my calculator's broken, help! Alright, I get students doing that to me all the time. Your calculator's not broken. What your calculator is looking at is a specific window. We talked about this back in the graphing thing. I mean, if you look at this data, look, the lowest your x value ever is 2. The highest x value you ever have is 18. So you definitely need to see 2 to 18. Well, we're seeing that. We're seeing well more than that, so we don't need to see this much. But look at your y values. 30 down to 15. This is negative 10 to 10. I can tell it's that way because if I go to the window, look, negative 10 to 10. So you could muck around with this. Like, for example, we don't really need to see negative 10. We could go negative 5 here. We could go down here and make this go up to 40. Maybe make our scale worth 5. That way each tick mark's worth 5. And now when I graph, ta-da, that's much better. Much better. So playing with the window is one way to adjust it so you can see. And then the other one is the other zoom that I use. So I went and talked to you guys about this back a few tutorials ago, but Zoom Standard is the regular, 10 by 10, 10 by 10 window, which obviously is not what we want because our data is way over here off screen. But there is one more zoom that's handy. Let me go down so you can see it. Although I'll often just hit the button. There it is. ZoomStat. See that? Stat. Because we're looking at a stat plot because we entered the data in stats. Now ZoomStat only works if you've got your plot 1 on and it's dark, or plot 2 or plot 3, whichever one. Right? You have to have a scatter plot on. But if you do, you can pick number 9. You just press 9. Whew, there it is. Look at that. And you're thinking, oh, I'm not really seeing these. Well, each of these is tick marks. You can tell what it's saying. It starts at 0.4, goes to 19.6. Each tick mark's worth 1. It goes 12 to 35. Each tick mark's worth 1. So that's what this is. It gives you a nice little cute window. Now you could always go back to the window and kind of adjust and go, oh, let's go 0 to 20, make it nice. I always like to see my 0 to 35. 35 is fine, but let's go up by 2s and graph. Right, so the stat plot kind of gave you a good idea of what to make the window, and then you can go back to window and adjust from there. But that stat plot, which is a glorious thing, only works if this sucker is dark, right? If this stat plot right here is on, see that? If they're all off, ZoomStat won't work. All right, that's how to do a scattergram.